Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Rei, Erev Shabbos, the Shchedish mentioning for the month of Elul. Many beautiful things in the Parsha. But we see a transition that takes place in this Parsha that now Moshe Rabbeinu hits the mitzvos that we need to know inside of the land of Israel, things that we need to do to prepare ourselves, the specific mitzvos, not just the ideology, not just the philosophy, not just the musar. But now he tells us, these are the commandments that you need to know when you come into the land that God, the Lord your God, has given you to inherit. The first thing is you have to get rid of any forms of idolatry. And the idolatry is all over the country. It's on mountaintops. It's in the low places. Everywhere you see, you have to destroy them. But lo sasun kein l'Hashem lokechem, shouldn't be this way for your God. For your God, you don't have worship places all over the place. But for the God, the way it needs to be, but the place that God chooses, mikol shiftechem, from all of your tribes, lashum esshmo sham, to place His name there, the shichnai sidrishu ubasa sham. You should seek out His shechina, and you should come there. But what are you seeking out? What does that mean? That the shichnai sidrishu ubasa sham, and you should come there. It sounds like some kind of mitzvah, some kind of commandment. What's the commandment? So the Rambam says that in fact it's the commandment to build a mikdash, that we have an obligation to have a central place that we serve God and that we sacrifice and we do all of our things. No longer can we have private altars. We now have to have a central place. According to the Ibn Ezra and others, it refers to Eretz Yisrael itself, that the Shichnei Sidushu, that you have to seek His Shechina coming to Eretz Yisrael, Ubasa Shama, and get there. Others say that it's referring to an Eretz Yisrael with the Beis HaMikdash. There are those that say that it's even referring to putting up a temporary Mikdash, which is the Mikdash that was put up in Shiloh. And this really forms the basis of our entire spiritual striving. That we're constantly looking for that place that we can connect to the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Like we say in our Kedusha, that Mishasav Shalem Zelazed, that the angels ask each other, Ayem Mekoim Kavodai, where is the place of His honor? And that's what we have to be seeking our entire lives. The Shichnei Sidushu Ubasa Shama, we should be seeking out His Shechina, the divine presence, that connection. And Ubasa Shama, we should be finding a way to get there. But what exactly are we searching for? What is it that we're spending our entire lives that we put as a center place inside of Israel? That we're constantly praying for, we're constantly worrying about. What is it that we're really trying to get there? What does it mean, l'shichnei sidushu, that this is one of the first things you need to know when you come into the land of Israel? The shichnei sidushu basa shama. So the truth is that besides the sacrificial component of the Mikdash, what the Torah is really telling us can be characterized by a beautiful mashal of Nachman of Breslov. That he says, imagine a person who went to a klezmer festival and he heard beautiful music and it touched him and it turned him on. And very deep in his soul, he connected to that sound. Every time he would hear the sound of a clarinet, he would sort of expect that, that was going to lead to that place. It was going to bring him back to that music. And he spent his entire life trying to get back to that place, to get back to that feeling, to get back to that connection that he had to that music. And everywhere he heard that sound of klezmer, he was attracted to it. You know, it happened to me once at the Siyum HaShas, the last Siyum HaShas of Daf Yomi. It's actually 2 Siyumim ago. And they played a song Kir Besa Toivis Alai. And I never heard the song before. And it touched me so deeply that I was constantly looking whenever people would sit down for a kumsitz, I would hope that they would sing that song. I would search for that song because I just wanted to hear those sounds again, which transported me back to that incredible moment of the Siyam HaShas. And it's really a mashal. It's a mashal for our entire lives and for our souls. Because we were created from a place where we saw the Shekhinah, we saw the divine presence, we heard the most beautiful music. And we spend our days l'shichnoi sidrushu, trying to get back to his Shekhinah, back to that revelation, back to that connection of our soul to its source. But l'shichnoi sidrushu, it's written in plural because we see it in many different places. Because when we can't find it, we look to other places and other sources as being that source for us of that connection, of that sense of purpose, of that sense of meaning. We look to our money. We look to our kavod. We look to our pleasures. We look to so many external things, thinking that maybe there we can find l'shichnai sidushu, that maybe there we can find that connection, we can find that meaning and purpose. But in reality, Ubas Hashama. Ubas Hashama written in the singular. There's really only one place you're going to get it. And that's going to be in your ruchnius, in your spirituality. And when Moshe Rabbeinu was telling the people when they come into the land of Israel, l'shichnai sidrushu, this has to be their main pursuit in life. Looking for the Shekhinah, looking for the divine presence, looking for the spirituality. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the physicality. Don't worry about the material things. And if you do that, then Ubas Hashama, then all of that will be connected to one thing. It'll be singular, not plural. You will reach that place. Don't be satisfied with stuff, because stuff's not going to do it in your life. But Ubas Hashama, get all the parts of your life, the material parts of your life, the money, the kavod, the pleasures, and unite them all in the service of Hashem and in the seeking of God. I had an amazing summer. Summer was all about purpose. It was all about seeing my children, my grandchildren. I had an opportunity to learn most of the summer with two of my grandchildren. And I realized I davened in minyanim and in places, every davening was inspirational. We davened in Lake George, 360 other vacationers davening mincha. Shachris, one of three shachrises, 7, 8, and 9. We davened at the 8 o'clock shachris. There was well over 100 people davening shachris. Just surrounded by people of shichnai sidrushu, of just seeking spirituality and using all of the pieces of this world to be able to find that spirituality. Ubas Hashama. And get into that place of feeling so purposeful, of feeling so bound to the Ribbon Shalom. And that, says Moshe Rabbeinu, is what you got to be thinking about. You got to be concentrating on when you make a transition into Eretz Yisrael. And in every transitional phase in your life, set this as your marker. The shichnai sidrushu. Seek out spirituality. Ubas Hashama, and if that's your goal, you'll reach there with whatever it is you're doing, with whatever it is you're engaged in, whatever material things you might be busy with at the moment. If it's all about ruchnius, if it's all about God and spirituality, ubas hashama, you will get there. You just got to want to be there. The shichnai sidushu. And if you want to be there, ubas hashama, that's where you're going to be. Have a beautiful, amazing, awesome, wonderful Shabbos.